Well, having returned from his dental college experience and back on the set with us is Mark the Freedom Poet. Mark, there is a price to freedom, isn't there?
Well, yes, nothing is free, really.
Well, and in America, we see the price getting higher and higher and higher. Only it's not a price for freedom. It's a price. It's a journey into enslavement through indebtedness.
The enormous growth of our debt is crushing any hope of future solvency. We will be broke.
Well, it's the number I've heard about these sequestration cuts that we've heard about for months, and now it's history. $85 billion. That's a lot of money to you and me.
Well, it is, but it isn't apparently to the printing press treasury, who prints $85 billion every month to buy our bonds, to force interest rates down,
now
to give us an illusion that we're not going broke so fast.
In case you're listening and you just say, what did I just hear? Let's just stop and talk a little bit about the $85 billion that the Federal Reserve is printing every month. And when you say buying our bonds, what that really means is financing our debt.
That's right. They are buying our bonds, as opposed to having China, which has already bought $1 trillion+ of our debt, and Japan has bought $1 trillion+ of our debt. So now they thought, well, maybe it'll be better if we buy our own debt. Well, think about how absurd that is. How can you buy your own debt without being a bogus thing? So they print money, they go on the market to buy over $1 trillion of our bonds and T-bills every year. And when you compete to buy bonds, you force interest rates down. The more people buying a bond, the lower the interest rates are. The less people buying, the higher interest rates go. So if the government wasn't spending $85 billion a month, we would have interest rates like Greece, 6, 7, 8%. And we would have, the stock market would be in the tank.
The interesting thing about this equation, from my perspective, is that people will say, well, what do you mean they're printing $85 billion a month? Where's that money come from? Well, it comes from you, the people who are listening, because every time they print a new dollar, it makes your dollar in your pocket worth that much less. So really what they're doing by printing $85 billion a month is putting the debt burden right on the shoulders of the American taxpayers.
And when you go to the grocery store and you have shock, they're lying to us about the rate of inflation. They're taking out food and energy out of the inflation rates. Think about how much you paid for a package of Wieners or cereal 2 years ago. I mean, many products have gone up 100%. This is real. So you see, women and people that are on fixed income, not only is the cost of groceries going up and up and up, but the interest they're receiving from their old, maybe they've got a few T-bills or something, is nothing.
Well, and as a freedom poet, it's really trashed your standard of living. Now, Kool-Aid and ramen noodles and ketchup have gone off the charts. They've quadrupled in the last couple of years. How do you manage, Mark?
Well, I used to have cat food with beef chunks in it. Now I've got to go to cereal cat food, man. It's pitiful.
And the truth is that's not necessarily a laughing matter, because
there are millions of people. But we have 48 million people on food stamps. That's more than the population of Spain. And this is because we're wasting billions and hundreds of billions of dollars servicing our debt rather than stimulating our economy and having new jobs.
And there are billions, literally billions, maybe trillions of dollars that are totally unaccounted for at the Federal Reserve. We don't even know where all that money went. But what we do know, Mark, is that the Federal Reserve continues to print $85 billion a month, and that enables our lunatic Congress and this president to continue spending like, forgive me, drunken sailors.
Well, if you'll remember, they hadn't learned this trick under Jimmy Carter's time. So farmers were facing 20% interest rates. Interest rates were destroying more farmers than any weather, any market problem. The United States caused printing press money, but they didn't have a handle on interest rates. Like, see, they learned a new trick, buying our own bonds.
But now the Ronald Reagan solution solved that problem.
Right.
But now we've got a new solution. It's printing money, not by the baskets, but by the billions.
Every month, we're printing more money than most countries' their entire budget.
Yeah. Well, thank
insane.
you for being with us, Mark. God bless you for all you do for freedom. And let's pray that the printing presses at the Federal Reserve break down.